Everyone, and welcome to Hoglands SX, a track that we've been hyping up since the beginning of the season. This is a Hog remake of an H5, another H5 classic, Outlands SX from Slaunch, one of the more remembered Supercross tracks. Oh, look at that! We've even got the test cheese on the side as well. I didn't even notice that when I was racing. Pretty cool. Another thing returning from the original there, but as we do the fly through, you'll see that it's pretty close to the original. A few things maybe a tad bit different, make things fit with the hogs a bit better, but for the most part, it's pretty similar. Line choice maybe a bit different in some spots. Honestly, might even be more balanced. I don't know, than the original, but still pretty cool. Still runs really well, and set to be pretty cracked with the hogs. Go through the blue section there. That's one that everyone should remember. That blue rhythm is the trickiest on the track for sure. And getting it down consistent, not just consistently, but quickly as well. Able to run it fast is going to be very important for the race. Green 1, 2, maybe not looked at as technical as the blue one, but also technical in its own right, and a lot of time to be gained or lost there too. Just to fly through the lap. The lap is about over like a minute long, pretty close to a minute, so it's going to be a 15 lap race. Did 6 lap heats, 15 lap race. Let's go through the lineup, through the gate order. Your winners for the heat races were Detail and Slaunch, who are lined up side by side here, but snaking in on the inside gate is Elite. So then we have Elite, then Detail, then Slaunch, then Soul, Opix, Luke, Hunter, and Camby. Camby went the outside. There he is. All right, so all lined up on the gate. 15 lap race. Fortunately, this is one of those where everybody picked the same week to take off. So it sucks for Slaunch, but pretty sick track. Going to be interesting to see like a Supercross version of Iron Hog, kind of in a sense here. Obviously, track is way different, but in terms of the style and how technical it is, Nate is out. It's off, and we're green. Oh, that was weird. Here we go into the first turn. Many people shoving inside. Let's move to the inside there. Couldn't quite tell who that was. Oh, Slaunch and Soul getting into each other. Oh! I think it was Hunter landing on top of them. And coming out with the lead. I didn't really call the whole shot, because on this track, it's like too early to call it. But Slaunch, through the whoops, is going to have the lead. More drivers going down. Going to see a lot of that this race. Slaunch in the lead, Detail second, so your heat winners already up to 1, 2, Luke third, Elite fourth, and Soul fifth. That's your top 5. Opix, Camby, and Hunter. That's your whole running order. And yeah, while we wish that, you know, there weren't so many people with the off night tonight, this track is pretty tight, and it is, you know, arguably even more technical than Iron Hog was. So in some ways, maybe a silver lining to take away for this one. For some of these drivers, more points on the table as well. So the drivers that show up tonight really going to get rewarded for showing up. That is the thing. If you catch the one night where we don't have as many people, that is going to be very good for the drivers that do show up, because, you know, your minimum points that you could gain... Elite and Opix, yeah, that's tough. Your minimum points that you could gain obviously go way up. The worst that you could do is not nearly as bad as if we had, you know, 12 or 14 people. So drivers that show up going to get rewarded very well for this. Now, obviously, there is mulligans and such, but it still does put you at quite a nice advantage just for showing up. So it's good for everybody in the field. For example, somebody like Elite who's in that wildcard battle. Be a very nice night for him, potentially, to show up to. Detail lead him down. Took the lead from Slaunch. I think it might have been before the end of the first lap there. But either way, having the lead now. Obviously, both the winners from the heat races, and both looking pretty strong so far in Moto 1. Slaunch a little squirrely, losing a little bit in the blue rhythm. Detail really smooth. Oh, some nose dive action for Luke and Soul. Going to slow both of them down. That is something to look out for on this track. It's really easy to do on multiple parts, but mostly those beginning parts, that red beginning rhythm and then the blue rhythm, very easy to set yourself into a nosedive and get like a really brutal case. That's the thing with this track. That's something that really sets it apart, makes it difficult. Those cases, again, like some tracks you'll case and like you'll lose time, but it won't be too bad, and you can like kind of keep going. On this one, a lot of those cases in those early sections, you just like nosedive hard into the opposite side of the jump that you're aiming for, which is not ideal and costs a lot of time. So just stresses even more the practice put into this track and being able to hit these rhythms consistently and cleanly. Solange getting it a lot better that time around, looking very nice on this lap. Luke and Sol not too far away from each other still, but they're looking good. Camby's in 5th. Let's see, Elite, Opix, and Hunter. Interesting lead. Detail with a good lead so far. Obviously looked really good. He has all the Supercross wins so far this season. He could take them all if he takes both of these tonight, because there is technically, it's 4 SX, 4 MX split for the SX MX races this season. He won both the ones on Halo 4 and the Gooses, and he's off to a strong start here on the Hogs. On the MX side of the Hogs, Luke and Solange looked really good. Detail took 3rd in both of those. But on the Supercross side of things have been very, very solid. Solange looking really fast in the heat race, though. Maybe having a slower start in this one, but he's still keeping it pretty close. Looking for a mistake out of Detail here so he can make up some time. Yeah, Solange looking really good on the MX side of things, at least on the Hog side. Taking one of those motos, almost taking both of them. Be interesting to see when we get to the MX race in a couple weeks, actually. What that'll look like, seeing how different or rather like not too different, the SX side of things looks from Gooses to Hogs. It's a bit different, but to be fair, we are missing some drivers from the Goose Night. It'll be interesting to see the MX side, like how different does the MX side look going from Iron Hog to some Goose MX, like how different is that going to look? We'll have to wait and see. Track's going to be way different. I think that's the main thing, honestly, is that the tracks that we'll have in the MX night, which aren't 100% locked in yet, will definitely look a lot different. Oh, close battle between Luke and Sol. Here comes Camby as well. Yeah, it'll look, those tracks will look quite a bit different, I'm sure, than Iron Hog, so that'll change things up as well. But really setting the stage here tonight for the SXMX Division Championship. Sol getting really squirrely and Luke trying to dodge it, not able to. Camby and Luke eventually going to both go around. Sol was having a really nice run, but he's still stuck on the berm. Just an absolutely brutal mistake right there. He's having a really good start. Now Camby and Luke with a close podium battle. This is for 3rd. Detail is super checked out. The last we checked in with Detail, him and Solange were pretty close, but now look at how the hell did it get that stretched? I mean, that is insane. It's almost looking stronger than he did on the Goose Supercross, which is insane. But he's off to a really hot start in this first moto. And it not really over for 2nd place for Luke and Camby here. Solange is not too far in front of them. But yeah, Detail's just super gap for the lead already. He's got a lot of wiggle room to work with in this first moto. And yeah, plenty of laps to go. So there is time, but I mean, you can only do so much gaining time. I mean, for these guys to catch up, it's already going to be like mistake territory. Look at that. He's going into the whoops. They haven't even made it to the blue rhythm yet. Like, that is a massive gap here. And historically has been pretty good on this track. This is off the top of my head. I don't know if this is true. But I want to say Outlands overalls is actually an even split between Solange, Luke, and Detail. They all have 1 overall and some form a split on the Moto wins. I don't know exactly what it is. I'd have to check the docs. It's something like that. I don't know. I want to say there was 3 races. Oh, who was that? Oh, Camby. Let's see what happened here. Oh, yeah. Rough run through the whoops. Doesn't get the right entry that he's looking for. Goes down. Rough spot to go down. He was really, really close with Luke, but now he's going to lose that spot to Sol, and Opix unfortunately just gets caught in the end of it there. Nowhere to go. So yeah, it looked like Camby and Sol contesting that podium spot for Luke, but now some brutal mistakes, and now Luke's going to have a pretty big advantage on them. They're going to be battling with each other. Opix not too far out of that yet either. He's got to keep his head down. Can still work his way into that. one of the drivers that surprised us for sure on these SX and terrain races. Opix has been low-key pretty solid in these, and not the greatest start in this one, but in a pretty good position. Not too far away from Camby and Soul. So some mistake action. Is that Hunter going down? Hunter going down pretty bad right there. And he could be right in there. So I don't think it's going to be over for Opix by any means. I think he'll be in there by the end of it. Slaunch making another mistake. It's getting closer now. Second place battle could be on soon. But look at that. They're literally... Oh! Detail putting some style points. Let's see what happened here. He's got a massive lead. He can afford a few of these. Oh, he went for the triple. And I could actually break this one down. Went for the triple. A couple different lines you can go... Well, yeah, a couple different lines you can go for in the green one. He goes for this triple in line. You can see this is what he's going for, and he just comes up just a tad short, but he kind of rolls over the face of it, so kind of unsettles his hog, not really what he's looking for, to where he's kind of wheeling into this next one, which is not really what you're trying to do. And then it just gets him all off rhythm. Nose dives, does a front flip, lands it perfectly, and keeps going, which is kind of absurd. Get the solid view of it. The highlight reel view. Yeah, that is obnoxious. That's when you know. That's when you know it's a good night for yourself when something like that happens and you recover like that. That is an insane recovery. He's gonna keep ripping, and you see he hits the finish line right there. That is again your leader hitting the finish line right there. And we're gonna wait and see. The battle's already on for a second. It's close now. Luke and Slaunch side by side. And this is how big the gap is. They're hitting the line right now. That had to be 15 seconds. I mean, this is absurd. But here we go. Battle on for second place. Slaunch and Luke, and these are important points right now. Detail, if he's holding on to this win, is in that battle for the points lead. Different options coming out of Luke and Slaunch here, going for some different lines. Showcasing them. Balanced out really nicely right there. Oh. Wow, not the cleanest runs through the blue rhythm for either of them, but they're putting on a show right now at this battle. And to be fair, it's hard to run really clean laps. Oh, Slaunch gonna be side by side. Both coming up short a bit, but Slaunch going for the inside. Inside cleaner is gonna work out that time. Yeah, to be fair, it's hard to run really clean side by side, to both run clean rhythms. So they're doing a pretty good job of it. I mean, that's about as clean of a battle as you're gonna have, and it's still going. And Slaunch going at it for second place, running a bunch of different lines. I think Luke in the bog in the end there. Slaunch may gain. I think Slaunch actually ended up getting it as well. Gets a nice run off, but nowhere to go with it. And a sneak look to the inside. Now let's see, what do they do here? Slaunch going for a big setup around the outside. Luke going for a huge dive inside. Slaunch just going to go for that momentum on the end of it. You see it eventually does come into play. Luke, they're going to go both for the outside this time. Oh, Luke cases it. Slaunch does not, but he does make contact a little bit, so they're both going to be casing. And different lines here now, too. But Slaunch is going to have to go really slow. And not too bad. He does a really good job of running that option inside there. It is slower, but he ripped it about as fast as you can. Yeah, different line choices coming out of both of them constantly here in this battle. Just looking at different parts of the track, trying to get away from each other. Slaunch coming up a bit Casey in the green section, though, and that's going to help Luke get away for now. But a really nice battle they put on, and pretty far into this race, well over halfway through here. Yeah, right there. That was a classic Outlands battle there. Showcasing the different line choices, and really good showcase of it in several different parts of the track. Goes to show what? I guess that makes sense. Whatever. Anyways, you can make a lot of different lines work on this track. I lost my commentary rhythm. Just I was probably losing my race rhythm on track there as well. But I mean, I said it properly. It just sounded weird. I don't know. It's the right wording, but it came out, and I was like, that just doesn't sound right. I don't know. The rhythm's gone. It's over. It's all over. Slaunch going down again, and now it's gonna have to be a big comeback. He's lost a lot of time with these mistakes here, but still running in a top 3 position. But Detail looking like Margot Robbie, Wolf of Wall Street top 3 right now with this First place run, really clean. I mean, the gap is ridiculous at this point. That is your lead, and that's second place over there, hitting the finish line right now. I don't even want to count up the gap, but it's definitely obnoxious at this point. And coming up on lap traffic shortly, too. Which I want to say, like, oh yeah, that could spice it up, but I don't think it's going to spice it up. I mean, we're already getting pretty close to the end here. And yeah, this is like one of the more checked races we've had all season for the lead. Does put a lead a lap down there. Just absolutely putting on a show. A lot of drivers struggling to find their groove and find their rhythm in this race, but he has not had that struggle. But yeah, there's second, there's third. See, those gaps are huge. I mean, hell, even third to fourth. I mean, there's Soul. Got a ways to go from Slanch. And I was saying it. There it is. Opix getting by Camby there. Camby going down hard. I was saying, you know, don't count Opix out of it yet. He gets the spot on Camby finally there. I wouldn't be surprised if they're swapping back and forth for a bit. And doesn't have, you know, too far ahead to go for Soul. Valuable points Opix could pick up on Hunter here as they're battling for that top 6 in points. Opix does have a nice advantage on it now, and he could stamp that advantage a bit with another good performance here at Outlands. And with Roman apparently having some internet issues, that also opens up the door for Soul. As Soul is likely to be in a points battle with Roman is what we're looking at. We'll get a better look of it when the Mulligans come into play, which is a talking point. That's happening when we get to this week's recap. This week is when the Mulligans start to come into play, so we'll finally get a look at those. Not too much. We'll get a much better look after the next week, after the Woo Week, but we'll start to get a bit of a glimpse into that, because, you know, that's always a talking point all throughout the season. And we'll finally get to see it shape up a little bit here. But yeah, so Soul running in the top 5 position, something he's going to be very happy about, because like I said, like picking up these valuable points, he should be battling with Roman in that top 6. I mean, they should both make the top 6, but they'll be battling for their points position again. I don't know why. Recently, Soul and Roman just very close with each other in those points battles, and it looked like it's going to happen again. Soul, strong run here so far, and getting close to white flag. Might already be on white flag with how checked out he is, and we're just going to go for the victory lap here. White flag. One more time around. For detail on Hoglands, just absolutely frying this track right now. Putting in a 2015 Geico Honda Tomac performance right now. on Outlands, just completely checked. That was a great reference. Slight hiccup in the blue section, but at this point, who really cares? And this will be some valuable points too. I mean, he's still in that points lead battle and tied up the win count. He's going to go ahead in the Moto win count after taking this one here. So that's another one where we'll have to see what it looks like when the Mulligans come into play. But the win count's usually a pretty good indicator. And the fact that he's going ahead in the win count is going to be very massive here. And here it is. Final turn, final time. Oh, I kind of got stuck on that one. Final turn. Final time around. It's just not really a good shot here. There we go. Whipping it across the finish. Detail going to take his 10th Moto win on the season. First driver to hit the double digits for that. Taking it here on Hoglands SX, where he hasn't had as much success on the Hogs. But getting another win on him here. Tonight would be a good night to start that. Start a good points run for him on the Hogs, and yeah, nice run here. And that is how big the gap was. There's Luke in second. It got pretty close, Slaunch. Got pretty close to getting it back at the end, but he's going to have to settle for third. And Soul not too far behind. Really good run out of him. Gotta say, he had some opportunities for podium. He had a really good run here in race 1. Gotta hand it to him. Opix, another solid SX performance, going to be taking 5th place, top 5 for him. Hunter, 6th, and yeah, Opix finishing right in front of Hunter. That's what he wants to see, not what Hunter wants to see. Hunter trying to get every point. Again, it's super crucial. Unless he can earn a wild card point, it's super crucial that he gets as many points as he can to try to make that top 6. And 7th here, going to be Elite. And 8th rounding out the field, Camby, who was having a really good run. I mean, that unfortunate end of the moto for Camby, because Camby was legit battling for podium early on. So unfortunate how his moto played out. But there you go. Top 3 one more time. Detail loose launch. Congrats to Detail that again. Pretty sure 10th moto win on the season there. So huge victory here. Can he go for 2 in Moto 2? You have to tune in to find out. We're going to have that. Well, I mean, it's not really a straight invert on Supercross, of course. It's the invert for the gate picks. So we'll have to see how that changes up the gate. Might mix things up for the Moto, or surely should mix things up for the Moto. So don't miss it. Hope you guys enjoyed that. See you there.